Welcome back. This is episode 7.
7, yeah.
We are now in St. Cloud, Florida. We drove there from Port Richey, and this is 2 stops after Christmas now.
Yes, yeah.
So we are very close to Orlando. We were just south of Orlando. This was a hip camp spot called Clearlake Hip Camp Club. And we were the only ones there. I think there were, about 3 spots? And there were 2 other trailers, but we never saw anyone going in or out of them. So I'm thinking that they were just owned by the property owner.
I think I saw one person. This is the small backyard separate entrance, right?
Yeah.
We'd have to close and open the gate each time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think I saw the person through the window the one time.
Oh, okay.
Just, like probably middle-aged lady. And she was just like cleaning something up, and then she walked back inside. But it was just a brief second.
They weren't outside at all. This spot was nice. We had a lot of space. Basically, the people who owned the property lived on one side of it, and then it was fenced off for their dogs. Going there, they let us in through their side, through their gate, to get to the backyard and show us where to go. But once we were in there and all set up, we had our own separate entrance in the back that we could go in and out of with our truck, and then we left that way too with the trailer.
Yeah. It was real easy to to get in and out of that place too. It was really nice.
I would say we had, for the trailers, I think there was 3 or 4 trailer spots, and our fenced inside was maybe a half an acre, maybe a full acre.
Yeah, I'd say like half to 3/4 acre.
Yeah, it was about the size of my parents' yard, I think.
Yeah, the area that we had access to anyway. There was kind of like a work shed or like a barn or something like that. He had some vehicles in there that he was working on, which is pretty cool. And he had some like other tools towards the back, big piles of dirt mound that he was working with. And I think behind there, I flew with the drone the one day. They had what did you say? It was like a barrel riding course, because there were like barrels set up. There were 3 barrels set up in like a.
I think that was the next property
track.
Over.
No, I think it was attached to that.
Yeah,
I mentioned
horse,
it at one point.
Like barrel racing.
Yeah, it was barrel racing back there, because it was just like a straight path out of the back of the property. That's why I assume.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's a shared space with the neighbors. But
yeah, I don't know. They didn't seem to have horses. They had 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Unless the horses were fenced off in another area.
Place, though, either.
I don't know. Usually 3 barrels in like a triangle shape is for barrel racing, and they'll do like a clover shape around it.
I was gonna say when we went to the rodeo eventually.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Oh yeah.
That's something I learned about there. So, yeah. It was a cool place to hang out. We had plenty of space.
They had a pond.
Easy to get in and out of.
Very, very flat.
Yeah.
Nice
little spot. It was a good spot to fly around at too. So
yeah,
it was fun.
Thanks to our great host Henry. We'll definitely recommend your place. Clearlake Hip Camp Club for anyone interested. Links in the description. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about what we actually did in Orlando.
Yeah.
I like to review the sites that we were at, so that way we can think about either going back there or tell people not to go back there, like North Carolina.
It's even good for us to just like have the info for next time. And
so we can keep it all straight.
Yeah.
So one of the first things we did was visit Rotor Riots.
Yeah, that was which is where I got this shirt actually.
$5.
It was the last one on their wall. It was perfect. I've been following the channel for a while. I still do. Watch their videos and stuff as they put out new content. Basically, they're a channel that does FPV drone flight. And they talk about building drones and all kinds of aspects of the hobby in and of itself. So they kind of drew me into it. So when we were down there, I had to visit their store. They've got a little storefront, and then they have a warehouse attached in the back. And they actually let me take a walk through with one of them, and they showed me around. It was a great time. Thank you to the guy working the front counter there who allowed me to walk through with them. That was really cool.
He took us upstairs too. You got your picture out there with their set.
Yeah, he showed me the studio space where they record videos for YouTube, and it was interesting because like I'd always thought of those as like, okay, well, that's probably, you know, Ladrib's home studio space. You know, that's that shot. And this other shot, like, oh, maybe that's Joshua Bardwell's space. Like, I thought they were just, like, going to different spaces that they all had. But it's like, the upstairs of the business has, like, 4 different specific little corners where you can go and shoot. And it's like, this is location 1. This is location 2.
Yeah, it's all one room.
It was really cool. It was a great way to do, like, consistent production, have great professional lighting, and, like, not need to... like set things up every single time. Like
they
literally
spin
just go
them
up there
around and point the equipment to the right side that they want to film on.
So they can shoot like all the different parts of the video literally by just moving to different spots in the same room. So that was really cool. Just seeing their studio space and getting to chat with you know, the people there was awesome. It was, yeah, it was a really sweet location. I was looking at you know, some of the drones and stuff that they had, but we decided to just go with a t-shirt in the meantime, and they threw in like a little battery strap and some stickers too. I think they were
still back stocked from Christmas. They didn't have a whole lot there for you to order or even look at ordering because they were working on building out backlogs of drones.
Yeah, I think they were backed up like 7 weeks or so.
It was something, good for you guys.
Yeah, they're killing it. So obviously their YouTube channel's been doing good advertising them, so they got us there.
After we went there, we checked out Barber Park and Cypress Grove Park. Barber Park was smaller, and I think that one had like the skateboarders that were going around.
Yeah,
is that the one that you rolled around with?
It had a parking lot nearby, and I rode my mountain board out to one area. Flew around a little parking lot, had some cool spots there. I'm flying with the DJI FPV at this point, so it has some built-in features that, you know, if you're in a certain airspace, you can't fly over a certain altitude. And I didn't realize this was one of those areas where it would limit your height. So I'm like flying around, and I would dip up, and then the drone would just go and like stop all of a sudden. I'm like, oh crap, what did I do? So it was like a good learning experience. I was in kind of a controlled environment. It was a closed off parking lot. There were no cars there or anything like that. So yeah, it was just it was great. It was right next to some rec fields and all that, and then over on the other side was the skate park where some kids were skating.
And then we found Cypress Grove Park because that one didn't have a height restriction. It was a little further from the Orlando Sanford Airport.
Exactly. Yeah, I started looking up on Before You Fly and some of the apps for FPV to actually see where I could fly without, you know, any of those restrictions. So we found this spot, and it was cool. We show up at the park, and I hear the familiar. Was that?
No, that was a couple days later that we found.
Oh, was that? Okay, all right.
This was like
that's coming up.
We did a little one, and then we did Cypress Grove, and then we went to Pit Brewing.
What was Cypress Grove then? I just
wrote it was lots of open space on a lake, and it was beautiful with the Spanish moss trees and the palm trees.
Oh, on a lake. I'm trying to remember which one on the lake. That wasn't...
They were like all on a lake.
Yeah. You could probably pull that place up on Google. I
took pictures at Rock Pit. I didn't take any pictures at either one of these parks on my phone, so this was not the one that we were like playing in the trees and.
Okay.
Not the Rotor Riot Park.
Interesting.
It's another park. The first one I had like ducks modeling for me with the camera. I was taking pictures with the 85.
Okay.
Yeah, we just kind of checked out some parks, and then we went to a brewery that my sister recommended.
Yeah.
Pit Brewing was one of her Orlando favorites, so of course we had to check it out.
I just realized that park, we're probably going to have like some footage, or like if I flew there, we'll have some video of it.
Definitely.
So if you want to know about that park that we can't think of, check out the vlogs, which are going to be coming out soon.
It was a nice park in Orlando, or just outside of Orlando. We went to a better one later, so that's probably why this one's not sticking in our minds right now.
Yeah.
The first one was tiny. The second one was great. The third one was even better. So
yeah.
Anyway, Pit Brewing was really good. I think it was set up interestingly because it was a brewery that had like a pizza, not a truck, but a table with an oven set up in the courtyard, and then a barbecue place next door that did like Texas barbecue style food. So we got food and beer, and there was a really long line for pizzas, so we were afraid we weren't going to get a table. Yeah. We weren't going to like be able to get in, whatnot.
The line was like right in front of the place, so it made it look like the whole place it
looked like a line for the door.
Line. Yeah. It just looked crazy. Like the whole place was packed.
But it was all just people waiting for pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. But we got barbecue from next door, which we could order at the bar. Their beer was really good.
Oh, yeah.
You had the Peace Out Peach Pie beer, and you claimed it at the time to be your favorite beer ever.
Apparently, it was fantastic.
I think you've had some better ones since then, maybe?
I feel like I've had a lot of those like fruity sours.
And they all running together now?
There's some of them that like stick out. Like there was one, I remember I took a photo of the can because I really liked it. So like specific ones, like I'll take a photo of it. But yeah, this
you should
this
log
one was
your
apparently
beers
really good.
in the beer app that we have now.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have, what is it, Untapped?
Untapped, yeah.
Untapped. That's the beer app. So definitely go check out Ashley's reviews. Ashley's sister has a bunch of reviews on there as well.
Yeah, she's my only Untapped friend. I guess I should add Kyle. I don't know how often he uses it. But,
yeah.
I had a beer called Geschmack Yourself, and it was a mango guava. It was a regular kind of normal German beer, and then it had a mango guava ginger syrup that they put on top, and that was really good. It just added a little bit of fruitiness as opposed to the sours that you get.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like that. Got tart.
We had smoked chicken sliders with beer cheese and house-made chips.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was all really, really good. Oh. You made the comment that it was like
real smoky.
You had wings too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just thought they were gonna be like dry rub wings or something like that. I ordered them with like no barbecue sauce on them. But they were smoked wings, so like they had a lot of flavor just by itself there. Which I can see why a lot of people love the smoky flavor. I'm not too huge on it, but yeah, they were still good wings though. They were really meaty. I remember that place. I downed them either way.
We went home, chilled out. And then the next day was the weekend, so made you breakfast the next day, and it was the first time in a while because we were home for Christmas and then out with Megan. So I was really excited to make you breakfast.
Yeah, I love when you make breakfast. Ashley does it up. She does like eggs and toast and
we had scrapple too.
Bacon or scrapple or some sort of protein in there too.
Yeah.
You do it up.
I love breakfast. That was the day that you were kind of mapping out things that you wanted to see. So we found an abandoned sugar mill, but we didn't really find it. You want to tell that story?
Yeah, so I found the ruins of this place on Google Maps, and it said it was part of a park. At least a bunch of the reviews said like, oh yeah, you can just walk down the trail and you'll find it after going through this public park. And when we pulled into the area, it was like, it's kind of really fancy neighborhood. We're like, okay, this is a really nice area. And we pulled up to what we thought was a park. It was a boat launch, and it said, what did the sign say? It was like residents only. Yeah. Like it was a part of like the housing association. Apparently, their property, like, under surveillance, like all this stuff. Like it was cameras in use or something.
But it was just a dead end road in a neighborhood. It didn't look like anything special.
Yeah. So I figured we could park there and just kind of like walk up to this fence where on the other side you can see all these ruins. I was looking for the entrance to this place. I'm just sort of looking around, and we noticed a BMW pulled into the parking lot and just sort of like sat there, engine running, just facing in our direction, right behind us in the next spot over.
Did you try to fly and then I sat in the car, or
no
you didn't even fly?
Yeah, I didn't even fly there because I thought we could get around to the other side. It looked like there was a park on the other side. I saw some pavilions and buildings and stuff, so I figured there might be a trail. And so we just tried to follow Google Maps around, drove around a little bit and couldn't find it. But it was really weird. But as we pulled out of that place, the BMW, didn't they pull out at the same time? But as we left that like neighborhood,
so. I didn't note anything about that.
Okay, I thought I remember them like following us down the first street, but as soon as we turned, they just continued off.
Yeah, maybe.
I could see them as like housing association security, but it didn't look like we had pulled into like a private,
there was no gate or anything. It was
community.
literally just a neighborhood street. So
yeah, real odd, but
I don't know.
Whatever,
whatever. We filled up our propane at Tractor Supply and made friends.
We met that guy.
I don't remember.
The Lowe's guy. That's right. It wasn't a Lowe's. Was it a Lowe's?
Tractor Supply.
Tractor Supply guy.
Yeah,
that's right.
I don't remember his name, but he told us about Florida. During hunting season, you can buy a permit to camp on the wildlife management area.
Yes.
And it's literally just the cost of the hunting license. So it's, what, $28 or something for the year?
Mm-hmm.
And then from October through March or something like that, you can camp on the land for free. There's no hookups or anything.
Right.
But it's literally just groups of people camped in a circle on wildlife management area.
Yeah, for basically free.
Yeah. So they were doing that. And we wound up running into them again later. Small world.
Was that the same day or the next day?
The next day.
Next day? Yeah. So what, the rest of that night we just kind of brought the propane back and...
No, we that's when we went to the park.
Oh, that's right.
It was the Ralphie Chisholm Regional Park. It kind of looked bland at the entrance, but then you instantly recognized it from a Rotor Riot video.
Oh, okay.
And it had the pavilions, and there were people having a party there. And then there were horse trails and a giant lake. I
do remember the last park then now.
This is the last park.
No, I mean like the one that we couldn't remember.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah?
There was another person flying there, remember?
Oh, was that one?
That was that park.
Oh,
it was much bigger and stuff. I ended up, I actually posted some of the video from that flight on Instagram. You can check our tags. There's one like right here. It's so hard to see with the, anyway, they're down there. Check those out. I posted some of the video. There was this other person flying. They had DJI goggles. I wasn't sure if like they work together. Like if I just turn mine on, do I just pick up his feed? Like how does that work? And so I like waited for him to land after like 20 minutes, and someone walked over to me while I was waiting for this guy to land, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I was just flying here the other day. It's a real great park for FPV." And I was like, I just met like 3 people out of nowhere. It was crazy. Like just everyone was like, "Oh yeah, cool FPV. I do that too." It was like everyone there did that. So like
it was like huge in the Orlando area.
Yeah, everyone was really comfortable with it. They just I asked the guy about the rules, and he's like, "Yeah, just do this and do that." And like he gave me like a rundown of etiquette, which was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What are some of those rules for anyone interested in?
If you're about to plug in or like get started flying, and you see that there are other people that are already flying in your area, go talk to them. But like wait until they're done their flight. Obviously, they have goggles on their head, and it's kind of freaky having people walk up to you. As I've learned throughout flying FPV so far. Seems like every time I fly, someone just walks up to me and is like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Whoa, jeez."
Yeah, you're not expecting to see them because your eyes are attached to a little quadcopter.
Yeah, I'm focused on something else. But yeah, it's you just want to make sure that you're not about to step on any toes or like cut off anyone's signal mid-flight. That could be bad. It's not a good way to make friends. So. Yeah, just be courteous and keep communication open with the other people around you, and you should be good. We kind of like had our own little areas that we were flying around in.
Yeah.
And we just stuck to that, but it was a big park. There was like a pavilion and everything. There were a couple of them.
There was a lot of open space and like a bridge and stuff that led to other areas of it.
Yeah, and right across the so like that big open area.
Yeah.
There were the trees kind of to our right.
Yeah.
Towards the roadside.
I walked the whole thing and took photos while you were flying.
On the other side of those trees, though, is this huge estate. It looks
some
like
people were getting married there.
Yeah, it looked like a wedding location, and this big, beautiful bay sunrise, or sunset, I guess, at that point.
I took pictures there.
It's gorgeous. So this next location.
That was the last park. This is the Ralphie Chisholm Regional Park that had the Rotor Riot thing. It also had a lake.
Well, this park basically, when we walked in, I was kind of giving it this weird look because, I watch way too much YouTube, and I started to recognize the park.
Yeah.
Like I looked at the buildings and just where the bay was and where this clearing was, and then I saw this little bridge.
You even picked out what pavilion they were flying from.
Yeah. Well, we looked at the videos and like the pavilions are labeled, so like we could see the ones in the background, and I could just pinpoint and be like, okay, they go to this one, they chill here. Like,
yeah.
It was the video of Bubby and Vanover. I know, yeah, flying this big city octocopter. So it's like a quadcopter that has like 4 more propellers on the bottom too. So like you get this big powerful thing, lots of torque, but it can carry a big load. So they would put like a big camera on top of it and get these cool shots. It was
this one
really nice location.
This park also had the birds that sounded like velociraptors.
Yes. The roving packs of just like lanky as hell birds.
They were like
crazy.
Tall. They kind of looked like herons, but they weren't really herons.
Yeah. And but they were like 4 feet tall.
They weren't 4. Were they?
They were pretty dang tall.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Birds aren't real though, so.
And they would squawk like velociraptors. They're like.
Yeah, they had an interesting sound. We definitely caught video of it, so.
Yeah, you were doing some video.
That'll be in the vlogs.
They didn't care about people. They were just kind of walking, doing their thing.
Yeah, they were just chilling.
You made a steak, and we had wine when we got back from the park.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we met up with Max and Chad the next day.
Yeah.
So we drove out. Instead of going back to Orlando, we took a trip out to Fort Pierce, which was, what, an hour and a half drive for us?
Yeah, I think so. I think about that.
They're from down a little further south on the East Coast, so it was just a nice middle point to meet up in Fort Pierce. We had Sailfish Brewery recommended to us from another friend, and it was really good. We had pizzas and beer and pretzel bites.
Good suggestion.
Yeah, and it was just great to catch up with them and just talk about work, talk about life. I miss you guys. But on the way there, that's when we stopped at Wildlife Management, and we ran into the people that we met at Tractor Supply the day before.
Yeah. So as we're driving along, we're looking at this spot coming up. And we're like, oh wow, there's a bunch of trailers up there.
Empty area, and we didn't even see the trailers right away until we pulled in.
Oh yeah, that's right. There were it was like really weird sparse trees. Like just the kind of plant life changed as we drove into this area, and we started to notice like, oh, there's these like trails that go like way back there. Oh, that's cool. And we start to drive up to this thing where there's a whole bunch of trailers in an area, and we're like, oh, that's really interesting. And I'm like, I gotta stop here. I gotta fly. Like I just got the urge all of a sudden. And we pull in, we drive over, and we're kind of driving between these trailers. I've got a errant hair here. We drive in between these trailers, get a spot, and I see this group of people that are like standing over by these other trailers, and the one dude's like, yo, what's up? Like, and I look at the trailer, and we did you notice it first? I forget if you called it out, but
I think once we stopped and you went over and talked to him, I recognized it. I don't think I called it out.
Yeah, I don't think we knew it until like we actually walked up to him, but like it was the same dude that we had talked to at Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
He had told us literally about this location. We just stumbled upon it. It was like total happenstance, like it
because there's a number of wildlife management areas in Florida. He didn't say which one he was camping at. We just happened to find the one that he was at and go to that entrance.
Yeah, so I put the drone up. We hung out for a little bit.
This was your first gator footage.
Yeah, and then he told us about this gator that was down in the ditch down the road. He's like,
because they were able to
fly this way, go fly that way.
You were able to hook your drone footage up to my phone, so they could see what you were flying and guide you to where cool things were.
Actually had that USB-C to lightning cable that could interface between the DJI goggles and your phone, and just being able to do that was so cool. They were all kind of crowded around the phone like, oh yeah, there it is. We saw the gator move and scoot through
dove down deeper into the puddle.
Yeah. It was like a drainage pipe, one that went like under the road.
That's right.
So like it went down into the water that was like right there. Decently big guy. It was probably 3 or 4 feet long. Was maybe like adolescent or something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't huge, but he was good size, you know.
So that was before Sailfish Brewing, and then after Sailfish Brewing, we walked around Fort Pierce, the docks. We didn't make it to the Navy Museum, but I learned that my grandfather might be in there somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have to go check that out next time and see if we can find his name anywhere.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
My mom's dad.
Yeah.
So thank you, Aunt Pat, for letting us in on that tidbit of information. We'll have to check that out next time. Yeah, because he did his basic training over there for the Navy.
Okay.
I didn't know that, but the fishing piers were really cool. That's about all we walked around there.
I think so.
Yeah. I think so. And there were peacocks roaming the street.
That's right. Yeah, they
were surprising. Around. We were kind of like taken aback when we saw like peacock crossing signs. We thought they were a joke.
Yeah.
Until we went to leave, and literally traffic was stopped for like 30 peacocks crossing the street.
Yeah, it wasn't even just like 1 or 2. It was a good couple dozen of them. Like it was a flock. They
were just like wild birds there, like pigeons are in New York. It was just like peacock crossing. Okay.
It's just a thing.
The next day was Full Sail.
Yes. Yeah, we actually stopped off at my alma mater, I guess I could say.
It is.
The university that I went to, I took an online course from them, so I never actually visited the campus or like got to, meet some of the people that worked there or anything, or really even see how big the campus was. So we stopped in, and at first we pull up to this one building, and I'm like, oh wow, it's like really not as big as I thought it was. And it's just...
But there were like 5 more buildings hiding behind it.
This was like the smallest of all of the buildings. They had an entire like studio backlot and all this stuff, which I had heard about, and that's one of the things I was really interested in. And we went for the tour. Ashley set it up, got us in on the tour, and I met a couple people along the way.
I didn't set anything up. They have tours from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every hour on the hour. You just kind of show up and walk in and sign in.
You still found that information.
I called them up and got the information, so we knew when we had to be there by, when the last tour was leaving by. So we went for a 2 or 3 o'clock tour? 3 o'clock tour? We wound up there all afternoon.
Yeah.
I think we went for like a 1 o'clock tour thinking it was going to be like a lunchtime thing, and I'd work on the way home, but we wound up there. The tour's an hour and a half. We wound up there talking to people until like 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, it was really cool. Got to talk to the the career advisors. Got to talk to Josh Bing, who was an MFA student in I believe he's studying directing. But he was really interesting to talk to. We might be doing some work together in the future.
Didn't he graduate from MFA and he's teaching there now or something? Yeah. That's right.
So it was really cool getting to meet everyone, getting to see the campus.
Make those connections.
Big place. Yeah, definitely. It's a good place for connections, and it made me kind of want to look at their master's programs, but that's for another time. We'll see what happens with that.
We tried Culver's Chicken, which was a local fast food place there. I think it was mediocre, but it was there, and we were hungry after our long day at Full Sail.
Yeah, it was pretty good if I remember.
And that was our last day in St. Cloud.
Yeah, so next time we're going to pick up with
Monticello. Near Tallahassee.
We'll catch you then. Check out the links down below, and definitely subscribe for more. Hope you like the new setup that we're doing. I just kind of set it up, and
let us know how you like our dim blue background.
I think it helps us kind of stand out of the chaos of the trailer a little bit. I
try to keep it less chaotic.
Oh yeah, no, it's beautiful, but I think it helps a little bit. It's a little more moody, a little cinematic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace. Everybody.